All right. Good evening, good day, good afternoon to everybody on the call. Thank you for joining us. Um, I am really pleased to have you, everybody, on the call. It is now 19:06. We will start our session tonight. Just before we kick off, while I do some introductory remarks, I'm going to ask that people on the call, if you can just let us know where you are joining us from tonight, which country, which province, will highly appreciate that. So you can put that comment up in the chat. So to access the chat functionality, if you're joining from a mobile device, please note you can go on to in-call messaging. That will give you access to the chat and you can type up your message there. So tonight we are doing a presentation on the Lumi Digital Currency and how Africans can join this revolution and benefit from the use of this digital currency. So, this is an introductory session into the Lumi digital currency. So, if you have been on any of our sessions previously, please bear with us. This session is really introductory and basic. So, anybody who's on this course, if during the course of the presentation you have any questions, please feel free to use the chat functionality to ask your questions. Else, please wait until we do our Q&A portion, and then you can ask your questions at that point. You can then come off mute and ask your questions. As a matter of housekeeping, we are putting everybody who is joining on mute. So please note, I have put you on mute. So at any point that you want to come off and ask your question towards the end of the presentation, please remember to unmute yourself and ask your question. Also, after you have unmuted and you have finished asking your question, I humbly request that you go back on mute so that we can manage the audio and make sure that the recording of the session will actually go out very well. So, just looking in the chat, I acknowledge Semo from Nigeria, uh, Tapiwa Nashe from Zimbabwe, Mapalo from Lesotho, Thomas from Gaborone, Botswana, Timothy from Nigeria. Please, if you have just joined, welcome. Please feel free to add your comments there in the chat, letting us know where you are joining us from. So without any further ado, I'm just going to hand over to Moa. I'll come back to your comments and I'll read them out. I'll over to Moa to take us through tonight's presentation on the Lumi digital currency and how Africans can benefit from this movement. Moa, over to you.
Good afternoon, good evening, good day, everyone. Tonight's session
Please
focuses
remember
on...
to share your screen.
Okay, let me share my screen and I apologize for that. Tonight, as Lerato says, we are doing a full presentation for all who are really new. So bear with us if you are old member, if you have received Lumi already. This is going to be just a refresher for you. Can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to kickstart and say welcome everyone. We are honored with your presence, excellencies, and I know that there's feedback. I'm not sure if it's from my side or not. I hope we can do something about that. Okay, now we are going to try and cover quickly formation of economic communities in Africa, as well as Africa's debt campaign to be eradicated as led by Queen Sheba III. And Lumi Digital Currency, Agreement of Africa's Development. And we'll talk about NetFem training registration to build ecosystems and questions and answers. We're hoping to rush through this so that we can have enough time for questions and answers. Let's kickstart. Africa has got 6 regions. These are 6 regional economic communities: Northwest, Central, East, South. And there's another region called the sixth economic region that is formed of the diaspora. These are people who left Africa through slave trade, and they have ultimately formulated themselves into a government that is borderless, and as well as are leading this campaign. Now, Africa's time is now, and Lumi Digital Currency, as presented to you by Echo 6, led by His Royal Highness Chief Timothy McPherson, State of Africa Diaspora is led by Prime Minister Georges Louis Tin, and as well Louis Georges Tin, rather, and African Kingdoms Federation under Queen Sheba III. Now, that is Chairman His Royal Highness Chief Timothy McPherson on the left, with the leader of African Union, and that's the face of Dr. Louis Georges Tin, who's the Prime Minister of State of the African Diaspora, as the government, but he's also a head of the Secretariat of the ECO 6. Now, Queen Sheba III is leading a campaign to eradicate Africa's debt. Basically, an offer has been made to all African governments to pay off the debts that they have with foreign, people that they own, and so on and so forth. And the interview is on those links. I can share them later. And what we are talking today about is Lumi Digital Currency. It is a currency that is an official currency of the State of African Diaspora as of October 1st, 2020. However, it's a currency that existed before 2020, as issued by the Central Bank of Hong Kong. It circulates in that form in Hong Kong, and please go read about Hong Kong. It's a very interesting history that Hong Kong has of revolting and resisting slavery. Now, the word Lumi is coming from the word luminous. Check it in your dictionary. It symbolizes the sun, because Lumi is backed by solar energy. The great continent of Now, it's with that background that all Africans and African-owned enterprises, this includes churches, businesses, NGOs in the continental Africa and those that are in the diaspora, as long as one is 18 years and above, are invited to register a free digital account on Swifin platform, apply for free of charge as an individual, as a business or an enterprise, an entity, secure Swifin ID, and qualify to receive 6.2 Lumi, an equivalent of 100 US dollars, on a monthly basis from the 28th until 2023 October. All business account holders qualify to apply for a financial loan of 626 African Kingdom Lumi, which is an equivalent of 10,000 US dollars, payable interest free by 2023 October. Another thing, all those who are registered as entities and as individuals have access to Lumi online marketplace so that they can transact with their Lumi in there. However, there is an intention to also build local markets. How do I register myself? Nerato, please speak to that for us.
Okay, so in order to register myself, this is a very simple and easy process. If you go onto your iStore or your Play Store, you can download the Eco6 Lumi uh, application, which is that green horn against the gold background. Once you have downloaded that, you can then go on to register yourself. Else, you can go onto a laptop type device and go to the URL platforms.swifin.com, platform.swifin.com. At the top right of your screen, you will see the register button. You can click on that and register. Just to highlight that prior to going through the registration process, we recommend that you take a picture of the front of your ID card and a selfie with the front of your ID card as well as the back of your ID card. If you are using an ID book, we recommend that the front is actually the details page of your ID book, and the back of the ID book is the cover page of your ID book that has the emblem of the nation that has issued that particular identification document. When you have all of that, you can then proceed with your registration. You'll need to select whether you are registering a business account or an individual account. The only difference between a business account and an individual account is the fact that when you register a business account, you will need two additional documents which you will need to have handy when you go through the registration process, and that is your business registration document as well as your business proof of address document. You need to have those handy, then you can upload them when you go through the registration. Then you will proceed with your registration. You will need to capture your mobile number using the international dialing standard, +27 for South Africa, +268 for Eswatini, and so forth. Under local currency, you capture the country that you are in. Under member institution, we capture Swifin Limited Uganda, Swifin Limited Uganda. And then you will proceed with your registration and capture all the pictures that you upload, all the pictures that you have captured, and upload all your documentation accordingly. At the end of your registration, you will be given a Swifin ID. So now this is an ID that you can give to other people who you will refer to the platform for registration, and you will have displayed your login ID, which will be some of the credentials you would have provided during your registration process. Please keep those credentials safe because that's what you will use to log into the application going forward. Over and above, please note that at this point, when you have successfully registered, your account will be in a pending state. In a pending state, this means you have limited functionality on the SwiftFin platform. However, you are still eligible to receive the 6.26 Lumi monthly stimulus that is issued on the 28th of every month. However, you will not be able to transact. You will only be able to update your registration profile. And on that note, you are registered and welcome aboard.
Thank you very much. Now, importantly, it is highly recommended that we first empower ourselves.
You can finish off.
Good. Now, our announcements. Our next online meeting is on Saturday at 12 noon Kingston, 5 p.m. Accra, 7 p.m. Lagos, 7 p.m. Johannesburg, 8 p.m. Nairobi. And the next announcement is that NetFirm course practical online workshop is scheduled for the 23rd of August. The last two have just been blowing us away, and I'm looking forward to what this one as it deals with immunology or restoring our health, reversing diseases that are known. Now, the seventh Sunday Summit is the next announcement. It's happening on the 22nd of August, and this summit really looks into building local ecosystems. We should soon have guests from Zambia, but we are currently still having guests from the state of African diaspora. Thank you very much. I hand back to you, Lerato.
Thank you so much, Moa, for that insightful presentation. I think we have arrived at the Q&A portion of this session. So at this point, I will ask that if anybody has any questions, any comments, insights that you would like to share on this call tonight, please feel free to put your comments in the chat or to go on off mute, to come off mute and share your insights with us. While you are busy coming off mute or typing away your comment, I'm just going to read some of the comments that are already in the chat. I see there is greetings from Mr. Anderson in Trinidad and Tobago, Kutala from South Africa, Eastern Cape, Umtata. Um, Pesi Gio from Zimbabwe, Agita Sunday Paul from Nigeria. Welcome. And I see there is a question from Mapalo around. She has registered someone a month ago. She's struggling to log in, and when she wrote to support, there is no assistant at all. How can we help? More? Do you want to speak to that?
Yeah, thank you. Mapalo, good evening. Just please share with me the Swiffin ID. Let me see if we can do an escalation from the inside messaging, but I'll also directly send it to the Swiffin team that is helping people. Just please drop in there. I'll just text you for that.
Awesome. Thank you for that, Moa. Any other questions, comments, insights? I am not seeing anybody come off mute. Um, I see Agita's comment. This is very exciting meeting today. God bless you all. Thank you, Agita. Moa's comment. Mapalo, please share the Swifin and the name, and we'll escalate. Okay, that's a response to Mapalo. Any other questions, comments?
Hello. Wako ngapi?
Okay, empowered entrepreneur. I see you have come off mute.
Yes, Mr. Charles here again from Tanzania, or King Charles here from Tanzania.
All right, Mr. Charles.
Yes, so first of all, let us me say thank you, God. Thank you, God, because you show us Africans we are going to liberate ourselves. We are going to be a unique continent in the world, and I believe that we are going to rule the world again. According to the history, we are ruling the world, but we are going to rule the world again. So this week I was traveled to some site in Tanzania. There is a historical site like Amboni Cave in Tanga and the other hot spring water. But I have seen there are some problems which is appears here, especially for young generation who based in history. For example, in Africa right now, our education system is so very bad because most of young people they know European history, what they did here Africa, than they know our own history. So that is a challenge. I don't know the education system when will be changed, when will be changing to learn our own history. It is very hard. It is very painful. If you read the history book of Africa, uh, promote and what can I say in English language, because I'm speaking Swahili language fluent,
I
but in
understand you.
English I'm not. Yes, it is not a good way to call Carl Peter he's a good reader. Also to call a person who dividing African continent with a small part, who is calling that, which is called now a country, to call him a reader. And our own readers like Kinjekitile Ngwale, who ruling them, who starting Majimaji war. Also Marcus Garvey, Nelson Mandela, and other leaders of Africa, our fellow Africans, we under what can I say? We see them like ungood reader. We see like bad leaders, but we promote we emphasize our young generation
Yeah,
to see European, to see Asians, to see American are the good leaders than ourselves. It is very pain. I'm 27 years old, but sometimes I feel like God, uh, uh, He messaging to me a spirit to think something like that. It is very, very painful.
I
Madam,
understand so
Madam, I'm
much.
sorry. Madam, I'm sorry. For example, today I was trying to search information about Black Madonna. I have seen Pope, Pope, I think Pope Benedict or Pope Francis. He bowed down in front of the image of a black Jesus. Mary, a black man, Mary black and Jesus black. He bowed down. So, but just imagine we are from here Africa to go in Israel, to go in Mark, to say the history of the Lord is starting there, while we live our ancestor here, Tanzania, here Africa, Zambia, Nigeria, we live them. But we go
Un-
in Nigeria, but I don't know what kind of education we teach our own our young generation.
Understood very well, King Charles. I think that is a very valid point and questions and concerns that you are raising. And I think with what is happening now with the African um, diaspora, state of the African diaspora, the African Kingdoms Federation, the ECO6 region, there's a couple of things that are in the pipeline. And more, I'm going to take liberty and talk about this. With that, Moa has put up the a link to the state of the African diaspora. So you can go on there and check this out. So there is a University of Sword. So which are some of the things that are happening? There is a university that the Queen Sheba the Third is working at building in the Congo, and that particular university, its main objective will be around ensuring that we educate Africans, we go back to African history, we look at Africa in itself and actually get people to be educated on the African continent, about Africa, for Africans. So that's a very interesting initiative. Also, over and above, I think the other initiative that is happening from the state of the African diaspora, as it is championed through the NetFem training, is to ensure that people have an understanding and they recapture certain aspects of life, and those aspects are health, wealth in terms of the Lumi, as well as the media. So, in capturing the media, it is important that we understand what is put in the media and we are able to translate it, and the media actually speaks to what is really happening in the world as well as what has happened. We cannot have a media that is continually perpetuating white supremacy over us Africans, and actually teaching our young generation that leaders elsewhere in the world are better leaders than the leaders on the African continent. So there is a couple of initiatives that are on the way. So I recommend that you, as a leader in your country, King Charles, that you get on board, empower yourself with the information that is currently being shared, and empower your community with the information that is being shared. Moa, do you want to say anything else on top of that?
Yeah, over and above that, specific developments that I was talking about, if you get into that website of the State of African Diaspora.com, you'll see that there's a press release on the 3rd of August where the University of State of African Diaspora signed two collaboration or cooperation agreements with two great universities in Africa on two areas: the Armed Forces Technical and Education College, a unit of government Ministry of Defense established in terms of section da 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 da. But also the second university is the Bethel University, approved by the Zambian Higher Education Authority, which has a holistic approach to education promoting Christian values. Now, if you look at, for example, the curriculum or the focus areas of the University of the State of African Diaspora, it also has got what they call history and foresight. But this history, it's history that should speak about Africa, Africa's heroes, Africa's founders, Marcus Garvey, and the rest of all other key leaders who have actually worked hard to call for an Africa that is liberated. Kwame Nkrumah and the rest of all other leaders in the diaspora and in the African continent. So your concern is well catered for. Please, let's continue read. Please go to the website and read more about Africa's SOWAT and ECO6 initiatives. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that, Moa. Any other questions, comments?
Yes.
Spelele?
Yes, ma'am. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Lerato and Mr. Moa. I know I might be taking you a little backward. I just want to ask something regarding the registration of the business side. I already registered as an individual, but if there's more information with regard to that on YouTube, I can go there and peruse. It's not a problem for me. But I just felt like I could ask if what should I do now if I mean to register for the business.
Okay,
And
very
uh, and,
good
and
question.
and another question is I noticed there's a fee that is paid, the membership fee, where there's a silver, the gold, and the platinum. Can you just briefly highlight those two for me? Then I'll be okay. Thank you.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much, Spelele. Very
All
valid
right.
questions. Moa, do you want to speak to those?
Yes, thank you, Spelele, for the questions. I hope that I'm audible. I'm sorry, I've just been kicked out of my other line. Now, business. Yes, you can register your business account. All you have to do is to use different. If you use the ID first, now this time you must use the passport number, not the ID number, and then use the different cell phone as well as a different email address for the second account. And note that this would require you to also upload all other necessary documents, including your profile picture, your ID. I mean, if it's passport, those particular pictures as we have guided you. And um, note it will be verified independent of the first account. That's why you have to use different credentials. I hope that's the question. And you can also check out in the YouTube if you want to um, just reaffirm that information. And the second question you are asking of silver, gold, platinum membership, I would recommend that you please join the round tables that are happening on Wednesdays. And this is a Lumi Africa specific project. Lumi Africa is a separate, it's a registered merchant that is running this as their own project. So please just check them out on Wednesdays. They do have roundtables. Thank you very much.
Okay, just add on to what Moa is saying. Lumi Africa is a business company, whatever you want to refer it as, a merchant that has several products on offer. And as part of their product offering, they have a grading of silver, gold, and platinum. And part of that grading, you have to pay a certain cost, and they will be best placed to explain their service and their offering. This is Lumi Africa. If you They have a roundtable happening on Wednesdays that you can join and be able to understand how their membership fees work, and what your products and services you can get from Lumi Africa. Okay, I think with that covered, any
Okay, sorry, one last more.
yes,
Yes, sorry,
Pele,
sorry, Larat.
yeah,
I just want to know, do I have to have a different ID like the passport, the one that you can use to travel outside of South Africa, in order to register on this field of business?
business, yes.
Uh, okay, okay,
So
okay,
if
thanks.
it's not a passport, you can. I mean, I registered personally registered three accounts. I registered one using my ID document, and I registered
Okay.
the other one using my passport, and I registered the third one using my driver's license.
Oh, okay, okay. As well, so which means I also qualify for the loan because I'm gonna register as a business there, as a business person.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Then
okay, I'll follow the
once you
rest
have
of
registered,
the principles.
just to highlight that the business line of credit, it is not given. You will need to apply for it. And
Apply
once you
for it.
have applied for it, then it will be extended to your business.
Oh, okay. Oh, there's a different document that I need to assign online when I apply for the credit.
Yeah, you'll need to upload a
Okay.
couple of documents
Okay.
pertaining to the reason for your loan and motivating what you need the loan for and stuff like that. Normal credit
Okay.
application stuff.
Okay. Any specific website for that one, or do I go straight to Lumi.Africa and
Uh,
follow the
for that
application
one,
PDF
you
and
go
all that?
onto the
Mhm.
Swifin platform,
Safe and Patra. Okay.
platform.swifin.com. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks a lot.
All right. Awesome. Thank you, Spelele. Any other questions, comments, insights? I am not seeing anything else on the chat. I am not seeing anybody else come off mute.
Yeah, Tigo. Uh,
All
hello.
right. Charles? Yes.
Yes, madam. I'm sorry. I decided to send a message. I decided to send my email to the website of SWORD. Uh, I think I get my feedback of those questions as I was asking, because for my side I love Africa a lot, and no one will remove me my heart to no one can change my attitude, because I believe Africans, we are ruling the world. I believe Africans, we have earned everything, but our leaders is corrupt. Not only Tanzania, not only Zambia, but all of Africa must to understand that no one from Europe, no one from Asia, no one from America, no white people will come Africa to helping us. If we will entertain with that guys, with those white people who are focusing to kill us, I believe we're gonna disappear in this world. We will never see another black person. Just see in Egypt, the former Egypt, all of them are black people. Go Israel, all of them are black people. But right now are whites. Where
Um,
Africa we gonna stay?
I understand your concerns, Charles, and everything about a revolution starts with a spark. And right now, I think the spark has been ignited on the African continent. And it is important that when the spark has been lit, we all take our candles and make it a big flame and let it burn across the continent. So it is incumbent upon each and every single person that is on this call on this continent to actually re-educate and reset our minds to understand that as African, what is our value, what is our position, and what is our position going forward. Because that way we will build up the leaders of the next generation and make Africa great again. Thank you so much for that. I think, in the absence of any other comments or questions,
Can I
I
comment on that?
more.
Yeah. No, thanks for the chance to comment. Um, I know that earlier on I didn't say what I'm gonna try and say now. You see, Africa has had too many devastations, and Africa has sought to solve these problems through political means. And we know from the OAU formation up to now, there has been political approaches. Now there is an opportunity to now enter a space of controlling the economy. And I'm going to encourage each one of us to appreciate that those that control the world are those that are having economic power. Now, let us be focused and not be deviated or diverted by politics and political, you know, efforts to try and fight. And in the end, let us be focused to build this economy, because it is going to be very central to giving us the opportunity to actually govern Africa. It is those that control the economy that are controlling. And this is an opportunity that we are getting through Lumi to have a mind shift, a mindset shift that is going to take us from the streets of toy-toying into the, the corridors of generating economic wealth. That's just my remark on that. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Just a comment, with God, Africa as a continent, and Africans as a people must and will be greater than the other continents and people on planet Earth. Thank you so much for that, Ma'am Samuel. More, will you please wrap up tonight's session?
Thank you very much, Lerato, and thanks everyone who has honored us and those who stayed long on the call. We appreciate. My last remarks are for those that are not new in Lumi, let us please go on to invite those that are new so that every Thursday they can have an opportunity of listening to a fully fledged Lumi presentation. However, reminders are that on Saturday at 7 p.m. South African time and Sunday summit at 7 p.m. time, we are meeting again. I encourage you to please come into those so that you can take your experience of Lumi to the next level of building ecosystems. But Thursdays, we really prefer that that the new people come in so that we continue to spread this good news. Thank you very much and good evening to everyone.
Thank you so much, Moa. I think, in closing, just to highlight what Moa has already mentioned, is that Thursday is our Lumi Digital Currency introductory session that we have going every Thursday at 1900 South Africa Standard Time. On Saturday, 1900 South Africa Standard Time, on the very same link, we are hosting an open mic session. So, in our open mic session, this is an opportunity for you to come onto the session and ask any question that you might have around the Lumi, state of the African diaspora, the NetFem training, Anything that you want to have a conversation about, we will talk about on Saturday during the open mic session. And on Sunday, we are hosting a summit, and our Sunday summits are specifically geared towards building local ecosystems. So, in your community, in your village, in your town, in your township, how are you going to ensure that we spark this? Uh, Light of Lumi in that particular space and make sure that we grow Africa great. So those are our focuses for all the sessions that we have in a week. So please join us again on the very same link you used tonight or on Saturday, 1900 South Africa Standard Time for the open mic session. On that note, I thank you, everyone, Your Excellencies, Chiefs, Princes, and Princesses, and everybody that is on the call. Thank you so much. Appreciate your time, and I will adjourn the session. Good evening, everyone.